Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday workshop, the do's and don'ts of salary negotiation. My name is Jen Hadac, and I am the Vice President of Employment Services. I am a Navy veteran and a Navy spouse, and I've been with the RecruitMilitary team for a little over 10 years. Today, I am joined by Justin Henderson, the Senior VP of Sales at Bradley Morris and RecruitMilitary. Justin has been in the veteran recruiting space for over 15 years. I actually started on the BMI, the Bradley Morris side of our business, and Justin has been a mentor to me and really helped me grow professionally. So when we were thinking about the topics for our Wednesday workshop and kind of salary negotiations, I couldn't imagine a better person to speak on the topic than Justin. He negotiates salaries literally every week. I mean, this is a primary function of his job. And what I love about his knowledge is that it's relevant, it's up to date. Because let's face it, this is a topic that's on everyone's mind. And as they really kind of progress in their career search, many people don't really know what to do. They're kind of lost. So Justin's advice is constantly evolving, in this ever-changing career navigation landscape. So grab a pen and paper. Justin is about to provide you with information that I guarantee you will find useful in your career search and just in your future overall. Okay, so before we launch into the questions, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thank you so much for your time today, everybody. Again, Justin Henderson, as you may be able to tell from my background, I'm a former Marine, motor transport on the enlisted side. I joined the organization in June of 2006, and it's my job really to help organizations understand the value of military talent and decode that MOS into a job title in the civilian market. And with my role, I am, like Jen said, weekly helping veterans just like yourselves transitioning military negotiate that civilian job. So this is something I've done for the last 15 years.
All right, wonderful. Well, sounds like you're super qualified for this topic. We're going to hit it hard and heavy right out the gate. When should somebody talk about salary? I mean, when is that conversation best positioned?
Yeah, that's a great question because I get it on both sides. When an organization, I submit a resume for a candidate to an organization, they ask, hey, what's the compensation this person's looking for? And when I talk to a veteran about an opportunity, they say, hey, what's the pay range, right? Everybody wants to know the dollar amount. In my experience, what I found is really you don't want to put the cart before the horse. It's really important that you establish your value to the organization before you start talking money. So almost like going to a car dealership, that car dealer is not going to say, hey, this is how much the car is. They're going to talk to you about all the benefits and why you want that car and then discuss the price. So the old adage is whoever says money first, right, talks dollars and cents first loses. So for me personally, I say all you should be working on is building value of who you are and why you're a good fit for the organization, and then let them come to you with the dollar amount. I think that's really important. Also, there's ways to research compensation as well. So if you have some type of concerns about, hey, is this role the right fit for you? And does it pay well? There's Glassdoor, LinkedIn, there's a bunch of different opportunities where you can go and see, hey, does this job pay range match what I'm looking for?
All right. So I'm going to follow that up because I know that it's kind of always that burning question. A lot of times companies want to know what your salary range is before they even start the conversation, right? You submit your application, you submit your resume, and they're like, oh, okay, great. What are you looking for compensation wise? What's the appropriate response there?
It's 15 years of doing this, and I wish I had that perfect silver bullet that would work every time. But honestly, I don't. Each organization's different. The larger the organization, the tighter the bandwidth for compensation for each role, and the less ability that person that's interviewing you has to influence that pay. But then when you get to those smaller organizations where maybe it's 100 people or less or 200 people or less, it's much more broad because that individual is going to make a bigger impact in the company. So when you're asked on the front end, I always say, hey, I'm trying to create the same standard of living as I had coming out of the military. But I do understand that I may have to take a step back to learn the industry and then to move 2 steps forward and really leverage my military experience. So I've done some research. From what I understand, the roles pay range for what I've seen on LinkedIn and Glassdoor seems right within my range. And then try to move forward without actually saying a dollar amount. If you're currently working, so that 25% that has been out of the military for 5 years or less, you currently have a role, maybe you don't feel like you're being challenged enough, or it's not the right role or industry for you, you can always talk about your current compensation. But again, what I always tell people is, hey, my current compensation is $60,000 a year. Of course, I'd like to keep that standard of living or improve it. But for me personally, what I'm really looking for is to begin the right career and start growing within a long-term relationship with the company.
All right, great. Is it acceptable to ask, well, what is the compensation? What is the salary range for this position? Is it acceptable to come back with that response?
It's, again, you have to read the room a little bit in those conversations and understand how open that person is to it. Normally, companies try to kind of hold that close to the chest and not really share that, because their fears are, hey, if this role pays 60 to 80,000, you're transitioning out of the military into a project management role, but you don't have a PMP, you don't have maybe project management experience in a construction environment. And they say, you know what, we really think you're great. We love everything you bring to the table. We just have to put those tools in your tool belt to get you up to speed. They may offer you that $60,000 mark because they see long-term growth in you, not because they're trying to suppress your revenue, but say, hey, we really want to take a chance on you. We think you're a great fit and want to give you that room to grow. So they feel if they give you that range, all you're going to focus on is that 80,000. And then even though they make you a good offer with a good path for career, maybe it doesn't feel like it. So that's part of it too. It's not that they're trying to suppress your salary. It's just that they want you to understand that they value you and they see growth. So it's worth looking at. But again, with LinkedIn, with Glassdoor, there's ideas to get the compensation range of that role in that industry and understand where it sits. One other thing about compensation people don't realize, especially coming out of the military, is health benefits are a huge part of your compensation. So what I tell people, hey, don't just look at the amount of money coming in, look at the lack of money going out. So some companies might not pay you as well as a competitor, but their benefits are much better and a much lower cost. So when you compare the two with, hey, these really good benefits at a low cost compared to a higher salary with bad benefits at a much higher cost, hey, that lower salary opportunity might be the better opportunity for you. Plus, when you bring in 401k with company matches. So when we talk compensation and salary, don't think just the dollar amount that you're getting paid every month. Think about the holistic, everything that you're getting offered.
I love that, because that's a lot of things that we don't think about when we're coming out of the military, because the packages are already kind of established. We know what we're getting, for BAH, BAS, those special duty pays, things like that. But people don't realize there's special pays, I guess you can consider it, on the civilian side. And each company is different. That's where it comes into play. I mean, there's so many other, things that come into that salary well beyond, the actual, what are you making on a daily basis? So.
Right. And some companies, especially manufacturing, have overtime built into the compensation, or field service have overtime built in. And for us, salaried folks, right, the military, you're in a salary, you can work 80 hours a week or 40 hours a week, the paycheck's the same. That the civilian market says, no, this role, say it's field service, this role, you start getting paid the moment you walk out your front door. So if you're at the airport and there's a 4-hour layover, you get paid 4 hours for playing Tetris on your phone or watching a little Netflix. So you have to make sure that you're putting the total compensation in as well. I know sometimes transitioning out, the mentality is, hey, I don't want to lean on overtime, or I don't want to lean on bonuses. But understand that, hey, a field service role or a manufacturing role that works the 12-hour shifts, has overtime built into it, and you're always going to have that overtime. So you need to look at that total compensation as well with that overtime added.
That's a great point. It's something a lot of people don't think about. So when it comes to salary negotiation, I mean, is it always necessary? Should you always negotiate a salary?
You know, I found, especially in this market, by the way, it may not feel like it when you watch the news, but looking for a career in this moment in time as a military veteran is the best time in my 15 years to be looking for a career as a veteran. I get phone calls every day from organizations saying, hey, how do we get access to more military talent? We want veterans. And they're doing this intentional outreach, which I have not seen in my 15 years as much as I'm seeing now. That being said, organizations know that this is an extremely competitive market right now. So they're trying to come in with their best offer at the first shot. Say no, if you're savvy, you're interviewing with several organizations at once, and you're comparing hopefully several offers at once. So you may not have to negotiate every offer, but if it's a job you really like and you are truly interested in accepting this role, if the money works out, but it's just not there, transparency always wins. Hey, Jen, thank you so much for a great offer. I'm so excited about the opportunity and the possibility of joining RecruitMilitary. But I have to tell you, I've been crunching the numbers. And really, for me to be able to accept this role and keep my family solvent or to continue the standard of living I'm accustomed to, whatever you want to say, I really need to get to this point. If you can get to this point, I can accept the offer right now. And having that information in hand on the front end, not just saying, hey, can I get more money, but actually building a statement of why. Here's why I'm asking for that. Not just because I want more, but because if I can do this and you can work, because remember that recruiter, that HR person, that hiring manager, whoever it is, has to go ask, right? They have to go up their chain of command to get that money. And they don't want to go up that chain of command if they're not confident you're going to accept the role. So if it's something you truly, truly want, then go in with that good faith negotiation and tell them, hey, if you can get to this point, to this number, I can accept. That'll give them the confidence to go up that chain of command and get you that dollar amount.
That is phenomenal advice. I hope everybody is taking notes on that one specifically, because I mean, you nailed it. You have to justify your answer, because that is what they're going to need when they go up, like you said, the chain of command. Make it easy for them. Make it so that they can have this nice little package and say, here you go. And not only here you go, if we do this, they will accept. So that's, gosh, that is, that right there. I mean, if people walk away from this workshop with just that one piece of advice, I think that is a big one. All right, so you've decided, that you are going to negotiate your salary. At what point should it happen? I mean, where in the process should that salary negotiation take place? Should it take place before a hard offer is made? Should it take place after the hard offer is made? I mean, should it start when you're, already in the interview process? When should all of that conversation about money start?
Yeah, again, there is no one size fits all when it comes to this process. Some companies on the recruiting side, talent acquisition, are going to work really hard to kind of narrow down that compensation range for you as soon as possible. Me personally, I don't believe in asking for money until you've proven worth. So the later in the process you can go to negotiate that amount, the better. Really, when it's coming down to, if they say, hey, Jen, we really want to make you an offer, what are you looking for, right? That's the point where you start the negotiation. Or even better, when the offer comes in, because when you see that hard offer, you have the compensation amount, you have the health benefits overview, so you know how much money's coming out of your paycheck every month. You understand the retirement plan, if it's a 401k with a company match or a pension plan or employee-owned organization. There's many different retirement plans But when you have that total compensation, you can understand, okay, this is how much money is going to be in my bank account every month. And then you can go back to them and say, hey, I've crunched the numbers. Thank you again for a great offer and a great opportunity with a great company, but I just need X amount more before I can say yes. Is that possible? And remember, organizations are interviewing sometimes 20 to 50 people or more. In this environment, more than that to fill a role. So when they get to the point to the offer stage, understand you now have the high ground. You may not feel like it initially because you don't until you get to that offer stage. Once that hiring manager, that HR person says, we want Jen, now Jen has the high ground. Okay, great. Because the last thing they want to do is go through that entire interview process, draft the offer letter, get it approved by operations, get it approved by HR, get it in the system, get it sent to you, and then you say no, then have to start the whole process over again. So that very moment when the offer letter's in your hand, you have the high ground. Now, don't ask for double the amount. You know that's not possible. I think maybe the most I can see something be increased is the most 20%, the very most. But your average of 10 to 15% wiggle room in comp is probably safe. So know that the more worth you prove, and the later on in the interview process you do that compensation, the better chance you have of increasing that compensation.
Okay. All right. So you brought up a great point, right? It's all about that total package. So often we'll see offer letters or, kind of a conversation start about pay, and they only tell you either the hourly rate or the salary. How do you find out that additional information about those perks, the 401k, the health benefits, all of that? Is it okay to ask for that information? I mean, where should they go from there?
No, that's great. And exactly, you want to ask, because most companies, the cost of benefits, health benefits, is through the roof. These last 10 years, it's through the roof. So companies are very proud if they have a good benefits program. If they have a 401k with a company match or a pension, they're proud. That's something that they want to bullhorn. Hey, look at what we do for our employees. So of course you want to ask that. And you can ask at the very beginning, after that first interview. Hey, this is great. This seems like something I'm interested in. I want to move forward with this process. Can I have an overview of your benefits program? What's the monthly cost for whatever your situation is? Single, married, married with family, just so you have an overview of that. That you can ask that anytime after the initial interview.
Okay. Now, you brought up another great point, right? Health benefits. Now, often in the military, we have the retirees, and they have those health benefits already established, right? That's not something that they're going to wonder about. Is it acceptable to negotiate your salary saying, hey, I don't need your health benefits. Can you pay me a little bit more? What are your thoughts on that?
So larger organizations, whether you take their benefits or not, does not affect their bottom line. So you will not have the opportunity to use that leverage with a larger organization, because to them there is no bonus, right? There's no, hey, wow, we save a couple bucks because Jen didn't take our benefits. It's only in those smaller companies where that will really come into play. It's always worth asking. You're never going to lose an opportunity for asking a question. And by the way, if you do, that's probably saved you. If somebody's going to stop you from going through the process just because you asked about the benefits, or you just asked, hey, I have military TRICARE, I don't need your healthcare plan, knowing that, can I get some more money in my salary? If they cut you loose with that, well, guess what? Congratulations, you saved yourself a lot of heartache. But I would say ask that question whenever it's relevant for you, whenever you feel it's relevant. Well, actually, no, for the, hey, I'm going to use my own benefits, that comes at the offer stage. So again, I would wait till you have the offer in hand, because you have the high ground. Hey, I'm not going to use your benefits. Is there any way, knowing that I can get X amount of dollars more on my offer? Or, hey, I'm not going to use your benefits, but I need to relocate. Is there any way that you can give me some type of lump sum relocation to help me get there? So it's fine to ask. Because remember, they've interviewed 20, 50, 100 people, and they picked you, and they really, really want you. And now is your time to make sure that they value you. So you won't lose the opportunity by asking a few simple questions at all.
Okay. So this is something we get quite a bit in the Hampton Roads area, right? You have folks that are coming out of the military, you have retirees. Andrew asked, I'm getting a military retirement. Should the company consider this when making the offer, right? So
Yep.
it's like, are they going to pay me less because they know I'm getting, you know, a retirement already?
If they say that, I would go back to my previous statement, walk away, right? If they're trying to say, hey, just because you served your country honorably for 20 years, 30 years, or medically retired, we're going to pay you less, that's not somewhere you want to be. I personally now, DoD contractors, you know, they may not give you benefits, right? Because it's a contract role, so you have those benefits. But yeah, in the Hampton Roads, I understand it's such a dense population. I lived there for 9 years, Virginia Beach, so I understand it. But I personally have not heard that ever in my 15 years. But again, it could be a smaller contractor that says, hey, we can't quite pay you this amount, but we also understand you have this retirement pay, but we promise we can get you there later. A small business might leverage that to get you on board to grow you. I've seen that before. Hey, you know, we're a small company, we're just starting to grow. Wow, your leadership experience would really help catapult us to the next level. If you come in, we promise we'll get you up to where you need to be and beyond. I've seen that happen before, but I've never heard a company say, hey, you know what, Uncle Sam's giving you a paycheck, I'm gonna pay you less. Because that, to me, right there is a huge red flag for culture. It's a huge red flag for culture for me.
100%. All right, so kind of winding down here, what if you try to negotiate and the employer won't budge?
Well, that's it, right? So what I ask people every time when I'm doing negotiations for them, I need two numbers. One, what do you think is a reasonable offer expectation for somebody with your experience for this type of role? Meaning, how much do you want this offer to be? What are you hoping that dollar amount comes in at? And then two, what is the number you're willing to accept? So let's say you're hoping that offer is $80,000, but you're willing to take 65. And I say, okay, so if they come in at $64,999, I'm telling them to leave. Understand your floor, understand your value. And if they're not moving, but they're above that floor, you've told yourself, hey, I still think it's worth it. But if not, if it's below that floor and not willing to move, well, you've told yourself, hey, I know what I'm worth and I'm not going to take it. So that's totally up to you. Now, remember, those very large organizations like Toyota Motor Manufacturing, I helped build their veteran recruiting program 2011 and 12. There is no negotiation. Here's your experience. They have a compensation department. Boom, boom, boom. Here you go. So for them, they've Kaizen, Lean Six Sigma, done this whole thing that there really is no negotiation. So it's not that they don't value you. It's just not part of their process. So you also have to understand that too. Very large organizations, very tight pay bands. Smaller companies, you're making a bigger impact, right? And larger pay bands. So just know who you're dealing with as well. I know we only have 2 more minutes. I wanted to give you a
really
quick.
want this. Wait. One question. If you already accept the offer and now regret not negotiating, can you go back and try to negotiate?
I would only be concerned that would give them a red flag on you. My only concern is, whoa. We did everything we promised. Jen just signed a letter promising she would come to us. Now she's asking for more money. Why didn't she do it on the front end? Wait, is she not a thorough with her thought process? I think there might be a red flag there for them. Not that they would pull the offer. I don't think they would do that. But you would have to be prepared to really justify yourself. You know, hey, there's been a change in life. Something's happened in these last 2 weeks, or this, whatever it's been, and here's why. Or, hey, you know what, I'm transitioning, sorry, paying for medical benefits is something new to me. I went and I did all the calculations and then realized, hey, it's gonna cost me $8,000 or $12,000 a year for health benefits, and I didn't calculate that. I need $5,000 more to cover the difference. That you could do, but just be understanding of coming back for that ask, how it could reflect on you. That's my only concern.
Okay. Well, you know it. We're almost up on time. What do you want to share that we didn't cover?
Well, so this isn't about salary negotiations, but this is my favorite way to close an interview that I've learned in my 15 years. And everybody I work with, every veteran I work with and help them find employment, I give them this tip and it works. So when you get done with an interview, Jen says, hey, are there any more questions? This is how I close. Hey, Jen, I just want to say thank you so much for your time today. Since this opportunity presented itself, I've done a lot of research and I've been really excited about this conversation. Now that I've had the time to talk to you, I think this is a good opportunity for me. I think I'm a good fit. So I have to ask, is there anything you heard from me today, anything that you saw that might stop me from moving forward? Because the reason is, like I said, I really think I'm a good fit for this role. This is something that genuinely interests me. And if I miss something, I want one more shot to prove myself. The reason I do that close is, one, you want to let them know you're genuinely interested. If there's two candidates they interviewed with the same background, one says, hey, thank you for your time, have a great day. And the other one says, hey, thank you so much for your time. I was very excited about this call and I'm extremely interested. Who do you think they're going to call, right? They're going to bring this person back in for the site visit or the second interview. And then two, is there anything that you heard or saw from me today that might stop me from moving forward? Is it get you a second swing at the pitch, right? You may think you nailed that interview, but maybe you missed a safety question because it was inferred. Hey, I'm military, it's inferred I'm a safe operator. That gives you a second shot to win the interview. And also by asking that question, if it's an honest interviewer, they're going to tell you how you did. So you're not waiting 2, 3, 5, 7 days for feedback or that email to know how you did. You'll get off the phone knowing how you did. And I can't tell you how many veterans won their civilian employment by asking that question at the end.
Justin, I knew this was going to be a great conversation and you just solidified it. Everybody, I know that he literally dropped a knowledge bomb on you. There is so much information shared today. We will be sending out a recording of the video. That closing, I'll tell you what, guys, you want to write that one down word for word and make sure you have it set for when you do your interview. It like Justin said, it's going to be a game changer. So really, Justin, again, thank you so much for your time. I know that there may be some follow-on questions, folks. So let me pull up the slide deck one more time. Resources, you guys all know about that. You can check that out. Justin, if they have follow-on questions, two things I want to do. I posted this on LinkedIn. Go ask those questions on LinkedIn. Let's share the knowledge with everybody. Post them on that post that we set out about this event. But can they also hit you up on LinkedIn and ask you some questions?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yep, I'm always available on LinkedIn. I'm always answering questions. Actually, that close that I just gave you, I recorded a video and posted it on my LinkedIn as well for reference.
There we go. Perfect, perfect. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for attending today's Wednesday workshop. I hope you found value in today's presentation. There's going to be a survey at the end. Hit us up. Let us know not only how we did, but if there's something else out there, a topic that you want advice on. I have connections to some great people like Justin making it happen. So please let us know what you're looking for. Appreciate your time, everybody. Best of luck in your career search and your future endeavors. And we hope you have a great rest of your day.
Have a great day.
Thanks, Justin.
Bye-bye.